I need our fun gavel. It is 6:37 p.m. Good evening and welcome. I will call this meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission regular meeting and also announce a quorum is present. It is Wednesday, December 11th, 2024 at 6:37 p.m., 1837 Standard Time. We are convened at Manor City Hall in the Council Chambers at 105 East Eggleston Street. Commissioners present include Chair Stensland, Vice Chair Chavis, and Commissioners Leonard, O'Ryan, Pies, Terry, and Meyer. We have a full quorum. We will take public comments in a moment. If you would like to address the commission about a matter on tonight's agenda, please, that is not on tonight's agenda, please fill out a white card. Comments will be taken from the audience on non-agenda related items for a length of time not to exceed 3 minutes per person. If you would like to speak on an item from tonight's agenda, please complete a yellow card and submit it to staff here to the right of the dais. Comments will be taken from the audience on non-agenda and agenda items combined for a total length of time not to exceed 5 minutes total per person on all items. That excludes public hearings. Those are items 1 through 4 on tonight's agenda. Comments on public hearing items must be made when the item comes before the commission and not to exceed 2 minutes per person. No action or discussion may be taken by the commission during public comments on non-agenda items. With that, I will check with Mandy, our staff, to see if we have any white or yellow cards to receive. Thank you so much. Perfect. All right, I have. Wonderful. All right, we will start with Christian Garcia. You are signed up to speak on item 9. You are able to come up and address this at time. Keep a note, this is not to address the public hearing item number 2. We'll have another time to come up during that public hearing. And Mr. Garcia, you have 5 minutes. Thank you.
My name is Christian Garcia. I'm working with Mr. Rula, owner of Manor Grocery. What we want to do here is, I guess TxDOT maybe 4 or 5 years ago ended up doing a right turn on this corner, taking some property from the owner. What we're trying to do is reopen Manor Grocery with the gas station that we currently have. The only thing right now is the space that we have with that turning lane is just not giving us that space per se for the pumps that we actually need. Because as you can see right now, canopy doesn't work. There's no good, and the pumps as well. So pretty much that's one of the problems that we have right now.
Okay. And you still have 4 minutes left. Do you want to share anything else? If that, you can yield your time.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Garcia. We'll call you back up for item 2 in a moment. Inayat Maradia, please correct my pronunciation. You are here to sign up on item 12 on tonight's agenda. You have 5 minutes.
Yes. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, taking your time out today so we can hear about kind of what we're planning to do in that corner. Essentially, we had 2 very large billboard signs on the property. They were very ugly on 290. They were not attractive at all and served real no purpose for the community. We're building a very nice travel center over there. We have a lot of seating, amenities. We're trying to bring IHOP and some other national tenants to give, a better flavorful community place where people can gather and sit and talk and have families come on Saturdays and Sundays for breakfast and lunch. But in order to bring some of those tenants into that type of space, we need to remove those billboards that are ugly, put in a shopping center type of pole signs. One will be a travel center sign, other will be a car wash sign, so we can bring a higher class amenities to the area. Car washes, family dining, travel center related items. And in order to do that, we just need to increase the curb appeal. And so we would like you to approve that for the 2 billboard signs. We're small business owners. We've been here for 20, 30, 40 years. We'd really appreciate you guys helping us succeed. and grow our business. And so we in turn can take care of the community. So if you could please help us that, we would really appreciate it. And we're drastically reducing the signage. It's going from like 720 square feet on the billboard to like a third or a fourth. So we are actually reducing the signage. We're increasing the appeal of the curb and just trying to, have our small business succeed against some of these harder to compete against national players. And so we would definitely appreciate your approval. I was in a prior meeting in Maynard. I noticed that you guys wanted a unique vibe. And if you guys want a unique vibe with small business and allow that small business to succeed in a city like Maynard, then you guys have to help us succeed so we can bring those type of branding, that type of appeal that's unique. You don't want the cookie cutter Murphy, cookie cutter, Walmarts and taking up all this space. Please give us a chance to succeed. That's all I request, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Mr. Murdia. Please stay in the dais as we call up that item. We may have more questions here from
Sure, no problem.
the commission. Thank you. And I know it's down the list a bit, so thank you for bearing with us tonight. That is all the speakers I have listed were white or yellow cards. And with that, we will move on. I want to read into the record that I do have written correspondence from Mr. Bataille that are here with us that have been provided to the Planning and Zoning Commission. So thank you so much for providing those electronically to staff this morning at 9:30. With that, we will move into our public hearings. We have 4 public hearings this evening. The first of which is to conduct a public hearing on a rezoning application. Nope. I'm skipping along, y'all. Item 1, conduct a public hearing on a rezoning application for one lot on 4.879 acres, more or less, and being located at 16023 East US 290 in Maynard, Texas, to go from GO General Office to C3 Heavy Commercial. The applicant is Henderson Professional Engineers. The owner is 16023 Highway 290 LLC. We have no speakers on. Pardon me. I will quickly go to staff for a summary.
So this rezoning is essentially in sequence with rezonings we've seen in the past 2 meetings on the eastern side of town, with rezonings to more permissive commercial zonings for that area. Now, this one is, at the moment, from the letter of intent, intended to be office warehouse, which is a mix of like retail floor space in the front where you sell things, and then storage warehouse and things of that nature in the rear. Now, to recall, C3 is our most permissive zoning, and the 290 area per our comprehensive plan is designated to be more so of a commercial corridor or an employment area. So it is staff recommendation to, if this is considered, to remove certain uses such as adult businesses, data centers, light industrial, product development services, and others listed within your backup that we can elaborate more on if need be.
This is the public hearing, though. We can talk about the business and
my apologies.
staff recommendation on this later.
My apologies.
You're good, staff. There is a staff recommendation on this to hold a public hearing. I will entertain a motion of that nature to open, close, or postpone.
I move to close the public hearing for agenda item number 1.
I need a motion to open the public hearing first. We have no speakers, I know.
Then
I
we
motion to open the public hearing on agenda item number 1.
if there's no one here,
legal.
we don't have to.
Planning and Zoning Commission's Veronica Rivera, Assistant City Attorney. By reading the agenda item, you opened the public hearing.
Wonderful.
And so, yes, the motion would just be to close.
Alrighty.
the public
I will
hearing.
entertain a motion to close what I opened.
I move to close agenda item number 1.
I have a motion from Commissioner Leonard,
I'll second it.
seconded by Commissioner Pies to close the public hearing. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, raise your hand. All right, that motion passes unanimously, 7-0. That public hearing is closed. Thank you. I always like to bring her up. Got to have legal come on site every night. Item 2 is to conduct a public hearing on the rezoning application for 3 lots on 0.2376 acres, more or less, and being located at the southwest corner of the intersection of East Parsons Street and Lexington Street in Maynard, Texas, from downtown business DB to C1 light commercial. Applicant is CG Design. The owner is Manor Grocery. We have no speaker signed up for. We do have a speaker signed up for this agenda item. Christian Garcia. Would you like to address the commission on this public hearing formally? Mhm. You have. I will start the clock with 2 minutes when you.
So to,
Begin.
in order to understand what's happening here, this is actually what we have right now in the corner of
Applicant presentation.
for the Manor Grocery. As you can see, we have a metal building, the canopy for the existing gas station. So what we want to do is keep Manor Grocery the way it is right now, keep that historic building, just updating it a bit. The thing that we want to do is knock out that metal building in the front of the building and the canopy. Continue to the next slide. This is actually what we are proposing right now. The actual building that we have is 40 by 80. What we want to do is extend it 20 feet towards the back just so we could add a walk-in cooler, or pretty much just updating the entire inside and outside. And it's on the left-hand side, you can see where I have the blue. That's actually the new canopy with the pumps that we want to do. And I don't know if you guys are aware of the history of this exact building. So what you're going to see in the few slides next, we're not one to go changing much of the exterior. We want to keep that history in this building alone. The corner where we're talking about. So this is what we have right now. So we're talking about knocking the existing canopy, the metal building, just taking it all out, opening all that entire space out. Yeah. You continue next one. So this is what we're proposing right now as we speak. I don't know if you guys have driven there. So all the glass in the front, it's just pretty much opening it on the front hand side where Lexington Drive is right now. Parking is still going to continue on the left hand side, and we have in front of the park. So what we are having in mind is if people are in the park and whatnot, just cross the alley, go to the little gas station, convenience store, pick up snacks or whatnot, and continue up on the day. This is another side. So as you can see, we're keeping it very low. We're not making the new extravagant gas stations that we're seeing now. We're trying to keep that history on this pretty much what it is right now, keeping the white bricks. And Manor Grocery right now is either working with Shell or Valero to open this gas station. And what they require is at least 3 pumps in this location in order for them to give them a contract. But again, what our main concern is the actual Manor Grocery store as to keep it the way it pretty much is. These are pretty much renderings of just so you guys get a better feel of what exactly is that we're looking for Manor Grocery, not changing it too much, not making it that doesn't seem like it's out of place in the corner. I don't know if anybody has questions on.
We will ask questions when this comes up as an actual item.
These are just renderings / drawings that I've done, and pretty much, as you can see, it just keeps that same historic aspect of what this corner is, because it is a very important intersection in this all. So all these are just pretty much, it's just giving you the vibe of what we're looking for. So what we're asking is if we are able to reopen this store, the grocery store, with the gas station as it was before, just updating it a bit and pretty much make it more walkable for people around the section.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you so much. And with that, you have done perfect on timing. For future reference, we will probably hold these when they're talking about this as a business item and leave this for public hearing comments, as we cannot interact or ask questions during a public hearing. But with that, thank you so much, Mr. Garcia.
Thank you.
Also, stick around.
All right.
We'll be back to item 9 here shortly. That is all the speakers we have for item 2.
I make a motion to close agenda item number 2.
I have a motion from Commissioner Pies to close the public hearing on item 2.
I second.
Second from Commissioner Orion. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All those opposed? The motion passes unanimously. Oh yeah, for those who haven't been here for a minute, the hand raising's fun. It makes it a lot easier for us and Ms. Miller. All right, thank you so much. That public hearing is closed, and we will take up the business item here later on in the agenda. Our third public hearing this evening is to conduct a public hearing on a subdivision preliminary plat amendment for Manor Heights Phase 6, being 12 lots on 47.696 acres, more or less, and being located at the northeast corner of U.S. Highway 290 and Old Kimber Road in Manor, Texas. The applicant is Kinley Horn and Associates. The owner, RHOF LLC. Staff, if you want to provide a summary of the public hearing item.
Thank you. I will try not to get ahead of myself.
You're good.
This is a preliminary plat amendment for Phase 6. It initially was fewer commercial lots as they had issues with floodplain as well as other things, but they have since revisited this to divide it into 12 different commercial lots while retaining a parkland lot in the bottom left corner of it. And it's been reviewed to be in compliance. Yeah.
11 commercial lots and 1 open space, correct? For a total of
Yes.
12. Yeah. So it's further subdividing the original commercial space at the front of Manor Heights, a subdivision known as Carillon. Manor Heights.
Manor Heights.
Yeah, it's
Carillon.
legally known as Manor Heights.
That is correct.
There are no speakers signed up on this agenda item. I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to close agenda item number 3.
I have a motion, Commissioner Pies, to close the public hearing on item 3.
I'll second.
And a second from Commissioner Leonard. All those in favor of closing the public hearing, please raise your hand. Those opposed? That motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Item 4 is our final public hearing for this evening. It's to conduct a public hearing on a subdivision preliminary plat for Shadow Glen Phase 3, sections 3 through 8, being 690 acres on 690 lots on 247.029 acres, more or less, and being located at 14111 Fuchs Grove Road in Manor, Texas. The applicant is KT Civil, the owner, Meritage Homes of Texas, LLC. We have no speakers signed up on this agenda item.
Are you ready for me?
Michael Burrell.
So this is a preliminary plat for Shadow Glen, Phase 3, sections 3 through 8. It's right between where people would be familiar with Rector Loop and Fox Grove. It's just the early stages of that phase starting its construction. Well, platting into construction.
Mm-hmm. And this phase is west of Shadow Glen Phase 2 and kind of along that. It sandwiches between those two sections there.
Yes, sir.
I will entertain a motion regarding the public hearing.
I move that we close public hearing item number 4.
I have a motion from Commissioner Ryan to close the public hearing on item 4. A second?
I'll second it.
A second from Commissioner Pies. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All those opposed? That passes unanimously. All right. That concludes our public hearings for this evening. We are now moving on to the consent agenda. All of the items on the consent agenda are considered to be self-explanatory by the Planning and Zoning Commission and will be enacted in one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless requested by the chair or commissioner, in which the event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. Note there is more than just the minutes on tonight's agenda. There is also, I believe, we have a subdivision final plat for Mustang Valley and the 2025 subdivision calendar. It is in your backup. I will entertain a motion at your pleasure.
Chair,
Yes.
if y'all could, if you could read the
Oh, I need to read the individual items on the
Yes.
consent agenda. Thank you. I was trying to do it with one motion. All right. Tonight's consent agenda will include, upon a motion, item 5, consideration, discussion, and possible action to approve the Planning and Zoning Commission minutes for November 11th, 2024's Planning and Zoning Commission regular session, as well as item 6, consideration, discussion, and possible action on a subdivision final plat for Mustang Valley, being 119 lots on 41.973 acres, more or less, and being located at 15200 North FM 973 in Manor, Texas, as well as item 7, consideration, discussion, and possible action on the 2025 subdivision calendar.
I'd like to make a motion that we pull item 6 from the consent agenda.
I have a motion by Commissioner Meyer to pull item 6 from the consent agenda. I believe, do we need to vote on that, or we can pull it? Item 6 can be pulled administratively.
you can pull it. There's a motion is not needed because one of your commissioners is wanting to have
All right.
a discussion on it.
Anyone opposed to pulling item 6 from the consent agenda? All right, it'll be pulled for further discussion after a vote on the consent agenda.
That is non-discretionary, correct?
Correct. It's a non-discretionary item, and I believe it involves a clock, if that's correct. The action needs to be to approve, deny, or no. There's no postponement allowed on it because of the shot clock. Item 6. Are you able to explain, staff?
Subdivision final plats that are deemed to be in compliance with our engineer's review must be approved at the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. This item also doesn't require a public notice. That's why it wasn't on the public hearing or regular hearing.
Okay.
Is that the reason you put it with the consent agenda? Because normally we haven't done
Just
that in the past.
I figured an item that doesn't, well, it can be discussed, but ultimately doesn't need discussion and doesn't require public hearing. It would save everyone a lot of time just to have it on
Yeah.
consent.
I would say to keep it in the consent agenda then, and just unless there's something specific we want to talk about.
Commissioner Meyer, is this something specific you wanted to bring up, or you just wanted to have that motion separated from the consent?
No, I had comments on 6.
Okay. We'll pull it for comment and then vote on that separate. All right. Items 5 and 7 remain on the consent agenda. That includes the minutes from last month as well as the subdivision calendar.
I make a motion to approve consent agenda items 5 and 7.
I have a motion from Commissioner Pies to approve the consent agenda for items 5 and 7,
Second.
and a second from Commissioner Meyer to approve items 5 and 7 on consent. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All those opposed, that motion passes unanimously. We will now take up item 6 separately. That's consideration, discussion, and possible action on a subdivision final plat for Mustang Valley, being 119 lots on 41.973 acres, more or less, and being located at 15200 North FM 973 in Manor, Texas. The applicant is Carlson, Brigance, and Daring Incorporated. The owner is KB Home Lodestar Incorporated. Commissioner Meyer, you had questions or comments?
Yes, mostly for Michael. The agenda item description shows Mustang Valley, the subdivision final plat for Mustang Valley. But looking at the actual plat, I'm seeing that it's not for the full subdivision, but for a phase.
Yes, sir.
Does that need to be changed in the description?
We can make that correction for the record. This would be Mustang Valley Phase 3 final plat. Holly Smith, Mustang Valley.
Okay. So this would be the motion as it would be made by staff recommendation is to approve the subdivision final plat for Mustang Valley Phase 3, being 119 lots on 41.973 acres, more or less.
And to provide context as to why the title differs, whatever the project is titled when it's submitted, that's the name that we put
Okay.
in the description.
This is the one that we issued preliminary plat approval on two meetings ago, I believe, in October. They all run
You'll
together.
have to forgive
Have
my
we
short-term memory.
took this up recently though as a subsected portion of this is the one that we'd pulled out previously, correct? Am I on the right memory?
There was Okra that we pulled.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay.
We had the 4A, which was the right-of-way dedication,
Yes.
just behind this.
Yes. Okay. Are you comfortable with that amendment or that amended motion if we so make it amended? Okay. I'll entertain a motion. If we have any other discussion. Commissioner Leonard or Ryan, any other comments on this item?
No.
All righty. I will entertain a motion on item 6.
I make the motion that we accept item 6 with the naming as Mustang Valley Section 3,
Phase 3.
Phase 3.
Yes.
I second.
All right, a motion by Commissioner Meyer and seconded by Commissioner Leonard, I believe. Nope. Commissioner Ryan. Sorry, I can't see down there sometimes. To approve the subdivision final plat for Mustang Valley Phase 3, being 119 lots on 41.973 acres, more or less, and being located at 15200 North FM 973, Manor, Texas, as described in the backup materials for this agenda. All those in favor of that motion, please raise your hand. Those opposed? All right. That motion passes unanimously. Thank you so much. All right, we are moving into the regular agenda. This is item 8, and this is consideration, discussion, and possible action on a rezoning application for one lot on 4.879 acres, more or less, and being located at 16023 US 290 from Manor, Texas, going from GO General Office to C3 Heavy Commercial. The applicant is Henderson Professional Engineers. The owner is 16023 Highway 290 LLC. I do not believe we have anybody signed up to speak on this, but do we have staff from the applicant? Or do we have applicant here tonight? We do.
I believe we do.
Or a representative from them?
A representative from Henderson Engineers.
Okay. Do you want to provide us a summary of this item?
So this is, as I stated before, when I was
Yes.
impatiently
Welcome
jumping
back.
the gun. It's essentially what I'd like to consider a domino effect of rezoning that's going on in that area to bring it more in line with that commercial employment center type designation that our comprehensive plan is looking for. Though with the C3 designation, it does provide for some uses that may not be deemed pleasing in terms of satisfying those goals, and that includes the items in your backup such as adult-oriented business, data center, light industrial, mini storage warehouse, product development, and I can read through the rest if you would like, but it is in the backup.
Correct.
It is important to note that with the C3 zoning designation, gas stations are permitted by right. They do not need to come back for a specific use permit, so that is another use that should be taken into
Excluded.
consideration when providing a recommendation of either approval, denial, or postponement for this item.
And commissioners, the staff had made a recommendation to, the staff recommendation includes the 8 call-outs that Commissioner, or pardon me, that Mr. Burrell, I'm going to make you a commissioner after this. You wouldn't be able to work here though. The 8 designations that you just listed, that's in the backup materials, as well as a motion to approve with those exclusions per recommendation to match with the future land use map for that area. I have a question as far as, and we would also be able to add the multiple gas station items on there. I believe it's, you said if
Gas
please
station
don't think
full service and gas
you would
station-
have to do 3 different versions. It would be gas station full service, gas station limited. It would be added to the list of the 2 there.
That is correct.
Okay. The applicant is seeking to set up a major construction or equipment sales, kind of like a tractor rental? Or
No, so
supply?
they're looking for office warehouse. which is essentially like sales, retail, open floor space in the front with the option to have a warehouse for either distribution or storage in the back, among other similar uses of a warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
So that retail in the front is essentially what meets that commercial, with the warehouse in the back offering the opportunity for employment. Now,
Okay.
in their letter of intent, they do state that that may not be the final use, but that's the current intent.
Okay. And that would not be a appropriate use in an industrial area. Like, I'm trying to think, to have a warehouse with an office frontage or some sort of customer facing location is what we're talking about here, correct?
Yeah, which
Having an ability to have large storage capacity or large square footage for storage would not be, but putting it in a commercial district where we want to see retail.
that
We're not,
is,
I'm not saying we're seeing retail there
Yeah.
now, but what the future land use map calls for.
yes,
Okay.
This is going right next to where we talked about this gentleman is going to put this storage unit at, right next to the other storage unit, correct?
this area is, yes, sir, that's correct, with the storage unit next to another storage unit, and then also the heavy equipment sales. That rezoning was also in close proximity to this area.
And this is our undeveloped potential commercial corridor that is now going to have multiple self-storage units and a heavy equipment dealer.
I would like to know if we have more information from the person that submitted this on more specific intended uses. Like, do they actually have retailers that are coming yet, or is this just a broad sweeping, this is kind of what they would want to use it for? Do they have contracts already available? And maybe they need to be here to answer some of these questions, because I think C3 does open the door for a lot of the things that we've said previously. Like, they could open another storage unit if they want. They could have a gas station if they want. So without us knowing that, I think there's a risk of them, saying there's like an intention for like retail space, but then opening the door that they can actually put anything they want once the zoning is actually changed.
To both answer your question and to add potentially more context for thought, pardon me, there is a letter of intent that details what
Yeah.
their initial plans are. And if I recall correctly, it does also state that that's not solidified, it's just the initial plan. But I will also remind you that you have the option of removing certain uses that you don't want to see on the property.
Do we have a comprehensive list of what C3 allows us?
Did I provide?
It was
allows them to put on the property?
It was not included in this backup.
I didn't include it this time. My apologies.
I would do that
You're
every
waiting for
time.
that since Friday. Yeah. Sorry for not calling.
No, it's all right. I've included it before. I neglected it this time. That's.
Are we able to pull that up from the municipal code?
We can.
Okay.
Your iPads do have internet access, but I don't know if you want to take the time to do that currently.
I don't want to get this wrong. To be fully transparent for the dais and for the commission, obviously I can't make a motion, but I can sure talk about it. Retail, a 70% retail mix is what the comprehensive plan for the city of Manor calls for. It was adopted by the city council in 2023, and that is our guiding light. We are very far away from having a 70% retail mix, especially in this corridor. And we now have, I believe, a half dozen self-storage units under construction or permitted for construction along 290 in the city limits of Manor. Those generate $0 in sales tax revenue for the city. In a city that is under the pressure of having to have sales tax as a potential opportunity to bring in revenue on a very busy corridor that has the bulk of the people that come through the city every day come in through this side of the corridor. They come in and they go out through Manor's east side. And they all come to that same light there at Greg Manor Road that all of us visit when we come into Manor from the west side, from Palmer Lane, which is the city of Austin. I do have a list here. Thank you so much, Mr. Burrell. I have a list of all of the permitted uses here in C3. I can provide this for the commission. They include, I'll read them off, and if you want to flag them as we go, we can. Adult daycare, adult-oriented business, alcohol beverage establishment, conditional, Oh, yeah. Amusement indoor, amusement outdoor, antique shop, art gallery or art studio or gallery, athletic facility, automobile repair major, automobile repair minor, automobile sales and rental, automobile washing, brewery micro, brewery regional, brew pub, business support services, child care center, club or lodge, commercial off-street parking, communication services or facility, construction and equipment sales major, construction and equipment sales minor, consumer repair services, contractor's shop, data center, data center, distillery micro, distillery regional, event center, financial services alternative, florist, food court establishment, food preparation, food sales, funeral services, game room, garden center, gasoline station full service, gasoline station limited, general retail sales convenience, general retail sales general, governmental facilities, those are not allowed to be, those are required to be permitted, hospital services, hotel, industrial use light, kennel, laundry services self, liquor sales, medical clinic, mini storage warehouse, offices government, those are required in all categories, offices medical, offices professional, offices showroom, offices warehouse, off-site accessory parking, that's like vehicle storage, pawn shop, personal improvement services, personal services, pet store, portable building sales, printing and publishing, product development services general. Oh, yes. Recreational vehicle park, recreational vehicle sales, service and rental, religious assembly, that's required in all categories, research services general, restaurant, drive-in or drive-through, school, boarding, that is permitted in some but not all categories, school, business or trade, allowed again in some but not all categories, school, college or university, some but not all, school, private or parochial, some but not all, school, public, some but not all. Those all, by the way, have the same categories except for college or university, which has is not allowed in light commercial. We're almost there. Semi-permanent food establishment, smoke shop or tobacco store, theater, transportation terminal, truck and trailer sales and rental, truck stop or travel center. Wait, nope. Am I on the right column? Yeah, I am. Truck stop and travel center. Sorry. Utility services minor, vehicle storage facility, veterinary services large, veterinary services small, wireless transmission facilities attached, wireless transmission facilities monopole, like a cell tower, wireless transmission facilities stealth, zoo private. Those are the acceptable uses in C3 zoning in the City of Manor's Municipal Code. Commissioner O'Brien, you have a comment.
I do have lots of comments, but I think, as the chairperson has said earlier, this has been sort of highlighted as what we would expect to like have more retail dollars like pouring back into the city, and a lot of the space here on this 290 corridor hasn't been used for retail purposes that put tax dollars back into the city that support a lot of like public services that we need. And in listening to that list, I listed out a lot of them that I find problems with, for either the fact that the city already has a bunch of them, storage facilities, gas stations, or that they don't generate tax dollars for the city, pointing to medical, storage, medical, um, anything that has to do with medical that don't generate tax dollars for the city. And also, if we focus more on what our comprehensive plan guides us towards, we're also looking at like creating more jobs, in the city itself. And a lot of these that were listed don't lend towards actually creating jobs nor tax dollars for the city. Like RV parks, smoke shops, warehouse services. And so I think at least hearing the entire list laid out, alcohol, adult businesses, smoke shops, like I think there has to be a better zoning for this area than something that permits all of this, because I think in the end there's too many to move away from permitting, to focus more on things that are going to be good for the city, provide citizens with businesses that we don't already have plenty of, and then also businesses that are going to generate those tax dollars for the city.
If I may, before we
Mr.
have
Burrell.
any more interjections, you can recommend a lesser zoning. So what they request, you
Okay.
don't have to.
We can
Recommend.
recommend like a C2 with exclusions,
Yes.
or whatever. Okay, thank you.
Well, and also on the letter of intent, it says this proposal cannot be conditionally approved for the rezoning. Are they saying they want it all or nothing? Is that what that means, or is that something different?
Cannot be conditionally approved for the rezoning.
I cannot speak on behalf of the applicant for what their intent is by that statement.
Are there statements in their letters of intent legally binding, counsel? Or are they just an idea to help frame a potential future plan?
If there's a letter of intent, it's not binding. That's something, unless that was the agenda item that they were wanting planning commission to approve, and then it would be city council that would actually execute.
Okay.
But they are providing a letter as backup information. And again, one of the things that's in your purview is if you're actually trying to interpret what's in their letter, then that is something that Mr. Burrell can go back and ask for more information.
Yeah.
Or also, request that
Mhm.
that a representative be here at the next meeting. So you could. It sounds like there may.
We can act in their absence, though, as well as commissioners. We can make a recommendation to council.
Correct. You can.
You could.
Or
This
you
has
can,
been posted since last Friday that this meeting's happening tonight,
Or you can postpone.
or we can postpone. But we'd be postponing to have them show up to the meeting that they would already be at if they knew that they were going to be on this agenda. I'm sorry.
Sure.
I'm making declarative statements. I believe that they were aware that this is going to be posted for a discussion this evening. It was already held for a public hearing.
Or you could deny.
Or we could deny. So we have a motion. We can move to approve with conditions, or deny, or postponed.
Or postpone. To get more information.
Yeah.
You also choose.
I am, just for the diocese knowledge, I would be comfortable with moving to a lower zoning category that's more in line with what we see in that area and is in line with the future land use map and Destination 2050. This feels like me walking into a candy store at 8 years old and saying I want candy, and wanting the entire store when all I really wanted was gummy worms. But I wanted the access to the entire store at the beginning, and my parents to allow me to have anything in that store. And that's where I feel like that, like coming in and asking for C3 zoning with a letter of intent that says we want to do business in Maynard is not an effective business plan. And I don't believe that gets me to a place of wanting to say you can build a zoo or a daycare center in this community. I feel that there needs to be a little bit more of framing provided by the lawmaker, by the commissioners and the council of the city.
Yeah, in the past, we have had a precedent where if nobody was here, we postponed it. We asked them to come. and they came the next month. That has happened before multiple times. So, like, if it was me, like, that's my recommendation. We've had a precedent. We've done that. We could do that again. It's not an outrageous ask for us to do.
Did you maintain the same zoning category and the same?
We just postponed
Conditions.
the item altogether. We didn't make any recommendations. We postponed it.
But when it was taken up at the later date, was it everything was unchanged? We just got questions answered.
It was both. Like, I've seen both,
Okay.
right? Like, I wouldn't say one or the other. We've had this happen multiple times, and we didn't always just give them a check, to do whatever they wanted. So no, I would say there was definitely times like the other gas station, right? We had them come back, and we had to kind of go with them. Oh, you want 2 EVs? We want 3 with it, So we've had both.
I'd like to make
Commissioner Meyer.
aware to the commissioners that in the background summary states that the property immediately to the west, which is a larger tract, is already zoned
C3.
It's recently apparently, but it's already C3 and it's a much larger tract.
Mm-hmm. I believe the aerial image, yeah.
I would move to postpone this until the next meeting.
I have a motion from Commissioner Leonard to postpone till January.
I second.
I have a second by Commissioner O'Ryan. Any discussion on that motion?
Being a parent, there's really no difference between a zoo and a daycare.
That is a fair comment for the record. Vice Chair Chavis.
Your postponement would be contingent on requiring the applicant or a representative to be present, correct?
Ideally, yes. I mean, we can't force them to come, but yes, we would ask that with the motion that Michael make the city make every effort to get him here.
I'd like to.
In the spirit of that motion, yes, Commissioner Meyer.
I forgot to ask. I was going to ask Mr. Burrell on the other property adjacent that was recently rezoned to C3. Were there any uses restricted on that tract?
Yes, sir. The list is similar to the one that's present in your backup now, except it also included office warehouse.
Similar, you say?
Yes, sir.
Oh, so that one excludes an office warehouse. This one they want to have office warehouse
Yes.
allowed. Okay. And the other one we limited to only building self-storage. So the one that we went from ag to light commercial. Okay. Or medium commercial. Oh. All right. So the motion on the table, the motion that has been seconded that we will consider here is for a postponement to the January meeting, with an expectation that action will be taken at that meeting with the presence or the lack thereof presence of the staff of the applicant.
We don't have to include that in the motion, I don't believe,
Okay.
but hopefully, I would say yes.
Okay. Any other discussion on the motion on the motion to postpone? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your hand. Those opposed? All right. I'll be the dissenter tonight. That motion passes, I believe, 6-1 with the chair dissenting. Staff, can you please have in the January backup, can you have a list of the C3 and C2s for us to
I'll be
look
sure
at?
to include
They're-
that in zonings.
They're a
in general.
big list.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you all. Hi. No pressure. Item 9, I believe we're on. Yes, we are on item 9. Consideration, discussion, and possible action on a rezoning application for 3 lots on 0.2376 acres, more or less, and being located at the southwest corner of the intersection of East Parsons Street and Lexington Street in Maynard, Texas, going from downtown business DB to light commercial C1. The applicant is CG Design, and the owner is Maynard Grocery. We received during the public hearing portion of this meeting a presentation from the applicant's agent with that. Staff, do you have any, or pardon me, staff, would you like to provide a summary of this and also your motion, your recommended motion on this item?
Yes, so this property, the Maynard Grocery, has been a grocery store for a long time. It very much so precedes me. Felix may have a better idea of how long it's been there. But currently it's zoned downtown business, which does allow for the grocery store use. The C1 request comes with the gas station, which would, by design, require them to apply for a specific use permit. Now, to provide further context, the reason the gas station is no longer operating is because, per our ordinance, any site with a non-conforming use loses its ability to be non-conforming if it's inactive or abandoned for a period of 90 days. Now, abandonment has multiple definitions, but one of them includes just not being occupied or in use. So that's why it lost its grandfathering to allow it to use that gas station. The C1 request is to allow them to apply for a gas station use again. Within about a mile of this property, there's a gas station to the north. Well, two to the north, one to the south, with more intended to come in the Lagos subdivision, just to provide context as to what's in the surrounding area. Now, they do, to my knowledge, intend to remove that metal building to give the site a bit more space. And it's important to remember the intersection that it's in is Lexington and Parsons, which has a major thoroughfare with a lot of heavy truck traffic, traffic in general. It may not be the most conducive thing to have a gas station there, but I will leave the final decision up to the commission. But I do want to remind everyone, a grocery store is permitted currently and will still remain permitted in C1 zoning.
I have a question.
Yes.
And maybe it's me. We had a speaker that was already talking about this, right? And he mentioned IHOP. Is
Different gas station.
Oh, which one is that? The one we just voted
The
on?
speaker that you're referring to is here for the coordinated sign plan.
That's for the mini
a
max.
different-
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
That's for-
Okay.
They're a
for the
travel
other
center
gas-
on 290.
East side of
completely
town.
different.
Okay. Got you. Okay.
Another intersection.
That's me. Okay. Gotcha.
To that end, I do have a question as far as ingress and egress. I'm looking at the pictures here, and my day-to-day life, I get to talk about gas station driveways a lot and how they relate to roadway safety, and also how they allow for businesses to operate, because you have trucks that have to come once a day or more to refill those tanks underground that nobody sees. You also have to make sure that your customers can come in and go to the store or go to the pumps. Right now, the curb is solid, it looks like, on the bulk of this lot against Lexington. Will there be multiple curb cuts on Lexington to allow ingress and egress? And if so, how far back from the intersection? Sorry, welcome to Maynard's Planning and Zoning Commission. We'll see what happens in January. Do you plan on having multiple curb cuts or curb cuts within like 50 feet to 100 feet of the intersection with Parsons Street? Oh, sorry. I'm going to have you come up.
You gotta
Mr.
walk up.
Garcia.
So on Parkson or Lexington? I'm sorry. Well,
On Lexington specifically.
On
And by the way, this is Christian Garcia, correct?
yes, that's correct.
An
I'm sorry.
agent for the applicant?
Yes.
All right. So on Lexington Street, what is the driveway plan for accessing these three pumps that look to be they would be parallel
Correct.
on both sides
Correct.
to Lexington? Is that correct?
That is correct.
Essentially replacing the metal building that's there now,
So
and the pump awning.
correct. So pretty much where we have the metal building right now is technically where the canopy will sit, and it actually is going to be smaller per se, because I think the metal building right now is 60 feet, I think, something like that, and the canopy will be 25 feet by 75 long. But what we're asking is maybe we could have at least 40 to 50 feet on the Lexington, because we already have spoken to Shell and what's the other one, Valero, and they could do their trucks at night where traffic is not. They could come at night, so meaning you're not going to have anybody refill any of that during the day. So for traffic and all that.
And you have it designed. That's why you have it parallel, so they can kind of come in that and not and kind of skirt the awning on the
Correct.
northwest corner.
Correct.
Okay. Commissioner Meyer.
Yeah, just looking at this, I don't see that there's enough space that once there are a couple of customers already at the pumps, that when you're ready to leave, that there's no way to get out except for just waiting there. It's even where pumps have space on either side of them, it can be very congested, much less at the corner of two streets like this. When I'm at Walmart, it's a much bigger space and it's still congested. So I don't see how you can work this out to get traffic in and out to these pumps without a major problem.
And they'd be
That's my concern as well. I'm just envisioning trying to turn left out of either side of that being a complete nightmare. There have been multiple wrecks that have happened on Parsons and or Lexington. You know, that is already a very congested area. And I just, it's probably the worst spot for a gas station that I could think of in the city, really, because it's just, there's no space there.
are the windows and the access. That's not a new building. That is a conversion, or that's a modification of Maynard Grocery.
For which one? I'm sorry.
The building that you have is the facade with the windows and the essentially the convenience store supporting the gas station. Is that the current Maynard Grocery store?
That is correct. That's what we want to do it towards
Okay.
Lexington. So pretty much,
So
but
redoing that wall
correct.
to have remove its kind of, I guess it would be adding additional facade or additional access
Correct.
entry to the
Correct.
gas station.
That is correct, because where we have the pumps, pretty much park and walk in and walk out or whatnot. But as well on the left hand side where what's that street? Old Highway 20. That is still
Parsons.
open. That will continue to stay open. That door and the windows. I don't know if you drive through there. That's gonna per se stay. We're not changing that.
The sketch here makes it look like it turns into a 1960s building from a 1920s. So I'm trying to figure out how you understand what I'm talking about. Like this is a very different facade than the one that literally looks the same as it did in Gilbert Grape, or Gilbert Grape from the 90s. So I'm trying to figure out in my head how that goes to a flat top roof
Well,
and the awning comes down. But
so I see parking spots on Parsons, and then I see parking on the alley by the park. Those parking spots, are those owned by the applicant, or are those just public street parking?
Mr. Burrell.
The alley parking currently is for the park that's next door. If I have my orientation correct, this is for the park.
I said this
here,
is
and
showing
street parking.
This is showing perpendicular parking. Currently, there's angle-in parking there
on
on the
Parsons.
street
there's angle.
frontage. And is that counted toward their parking requirement, or do they have a parking requirement for DB?
It's on street parking. I would have to look to see who specifically owns it. We have certain instances in the city where, say,
It's almost like a license agreement where like it's city-owned property, it's city property, but they are maintaining it for the city, and using it for their use, benefiting it for their use.
It's similar to the restaurant we have just behind City Hall right here.
Yes.
The on-street parking, half of it is the city, but then like the front half of it is on their property.
Okay.
So we have to have licensing. I would have to look into it to see
Okay.
who specifically owns that. But some of that parking may be utilized for the other businesses along Parsons, like the Inn or the tamale factory. things
Yeah,
like
it looks like there's a convenience store or Maynard Grocery with like zero of their own parking available for anybody to get in, and then you stick gas pumps in the middle of it, and so there's even less parking available for anything.
And Commissioner, you're absolutely correct, because where it is now, the parking in the front, you have tenants that live in that apartment right next to Maynard Grocery, so they take up 90% of that parking lot in the front. So what they did eventually is some of the parking in the gas station little area that they opened that as parking lot. Maynard's grown. I'm be honest with you. It's hard to park right there unless you diagonally park it there. I do have some questions for you. If you guys are done, yeah.
Oh, we're ready for you.
Like our staff member Burrell said, I've been here for 40 plus years, and my parents have been here for almost 60 years. That store is way older than I am. For me to tell you can tear that middle building down, I think that's where my grandparents bought their first couch at. So that would be tough for me to tell you tear that building down. But
If I may, the metal building he's referring to, you know which one he's talking about, right? The one in the rear, not the actual grocery.
Yeah, but there's
The one
significant
that's right next to
modifications to this other building, to the Maynard Grocery,
the
correct?
one that's attached to Maynard Groceries,
Yeah.
that Milden building has been there. Yeah, that's
Oh, the
one.
metal building, yeah.
Yeah, the one he's going to tear down. My suggestion, like some of my commissioners saying, that is, even when Maynard Groceries was the only grocery store in Maynard besides Mr. Brown's, I would suggest, we were in a meeting or a training one time, and we had somebody come and tell us, how about you turn that in not only to a grocery store, but a mixed use place, like maybe put chairs and awnings down there where people actually can sit there instead of turning it into a gas station. Because like the commissioner saying and Mr. Burrell saying, you got a gas station. If you walk and stand on that corner of that light, you're going to see the other gas stations. So one thing that people are asking for in this community is more places to where they can come to and enjoy and be able to sit down and enjoy, like our gentleman is saying in the back, bring something that our community would like to come to. I just don't see that gas station working, and being here as long as I have, that gas station has really never worked for a whole lot of people. Just like exactly you're saying, it's hard to get into, it's hard to get out of. Now that TxDOT has moved that curb, it's going to be a pain in the, you know what, to get in there and out of there. I would like to see it stay the old red and white colors and all of that stuff, but how can we have this wonderful HEB coming. A lot of our in-town people, it's going to be tough to cross that street to get over. One thing that Maynard Groceries was used for was that purpose. That was why it's called groceries. It was used for hometown people who didn't have to go to HEB. They could get what they needed there and be all right. One of the things I loved from Maynard Groceries when I was little, I can't find it no more, is pressed ham. Maynard Groceries used to sell pressed ham like it was going out of style. So being able to use it as things like that, I think you would have more use of it. It's tough seeing that gas station go right there, and you be able to get the parking that you need, the customers that you need. Granted, yeah, that's a well-traveled road, but like Commissioner Myers said, it's going to be tough to get in and out of there.
Mr. Garcia.
I just with the owner, I just don't think that without a gas pump or gas station, I don't think that he feels like he can make money or bring any money into Manor per se. So I guess without the pumps that he actually wants, because what he really wants is the pumps. He's at first, a few sketches that we had before turning was Manor Grocery was making it like a 2-story and whatnot, but that's just way too much because it's gonna stand out in that corner. So he wants to keep that the grocery, but with the pumps itself. But without the pumps, he just doesn't feel like he can make any money at all.
I have a
From
question.
repurposing the building. I'm looking at adaptive reuse here too, and not everybody wants to go and redo a corrugated metal building that was left to kind of weather away. And I have a frustration seeing things wither away and then go, oh no, it's so bad, we got to replace it. Let's go do this, and it's like, okay, but why did you let it happen to that in the first place? It's not making money today. It's still sitting $299. It's been $299 since I was in college, probably. Like these have not been active pumps for more than 90 days, obviously, because that's why it's up for a rezoning. I'm just trying to figure out, and being 10 miles north of the large, not to quote anything here, but you're 10 miles north of the largest the largest non-gasoline vehicle maker currently in the world. I'm trying to figure out, or in the U.S., I'm trying to figure out why we're putting more gas stations. Like we have gas stations coming up every mile on 290. And I'm trying to figure out in my head how who refuses to buy another car with gasoline because I'm so tired of changing oil and fixing parts and engines, why I keep seeing more. Like, I guess there's a demand thing going on here, but I'm trying to figure out how long cycle that's going to be. And is that the best, maybe it's the best money for him to cash in on for that corner, for that lot, but is that the best need being met for this community? As Mr. Burrell stated, we have 3 gas stations within a mile of here. You could roll your car to a gas station on empty and end up there. Not to mention Lagos, which is not even a quarter mile south of this property. You said they're putting in a fueling station there by the school?
Yeah, their intent based off of their currently approved PUD is to have more gas stations.
Oh, wow. Okay. No amenity center, but they'll have a gas station. So a quarter mile from there. And I'm not saying that they got it first. Sorry, not sorry. Like, and you should have kept yours going, but I'm just trying to figure out why would we want to permit intense use on a congested corner that is literally at its limit. There is no more easement. The only thing left for that corner is to take your client's property and put in a right turn lane, and that eats into your easement, and then that makes that property relatively unusable for most purposes because you essentially lose you lose a billboard. Well, you're going to lose the billboard is not conforming. But like your easement is going to move back if TxDOT decides that the current FM 973 or Old Highway 20, which will still be an Old Highway 20 after the realignment, needs to be expanded. I'm trying to make sure that we kind of future-proof this a little bit because I feel like your client's trying to catch up and make money off of a property that's been not making money for you or for the community really for a couple of years, and it's not lost on me that this is a doormat to historic downtown. To put in a very modern looking building and to put a big yellow and red shell sign up, or Valero, and do a little green. I don't know if that really is what the people who currently live in old downtown and who are going to soon be living across the corner in those apartments want to see in a safe walkable distance from their home. That's where I'm stuck.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to lament, but anyway, I'm on a motion to deny path. But.
Not to piggyback, but I really could appreciate what Felix had said earlier, and just adding in my own 2 cents that I think what I envision for downtown Manor is we want to see what is the value add to the community, and even like trying to cram a gas station in an area that really it's even difficult for someone to even get in if they really need gas. I do have questions. One, circling around, like I know the idea is to revamp Manor Grocery, but I think what I would be concerned with happening is what was a grocery store going to turn into a convenience store.
Yes.
And is that what we're looking at here? Or will it actually be where people can buy fresh produce, walk from their apartment? What is the value add? Is that the value add? Because I haven't seen any like indication of like EV stations. There's not really any room for them either. And like I said, there's many other gas stations already in the area. So I'm having a hard time seeing what is the value added by the addition of this, weighed out against the detriment, which would be refilling gasoline tanks. I know we said they can come at night, but will they always come at night? What if they miss their schedule and then they come during the day? Is that a promise that they're always coming at night? Is it contractually like obligated to come at night, or is that just what is what we would like to see?
Yeah.
And so these are just some of my concerns because I know that's such a congested corridor, and it's really difficult. Even getting here, you see all the traffic backed up, and will we then create more problems for the people who are in the apartment right there? Are we creating more problems for the people who are commuting by putting in another gas station here? That's all I have.
And this is about 2 blocks away from Haka. Is it Haka or housing that is public housing? People who need to have access. It's right next to the bus station, which is a future train station. Hopefully sooner than later. There are people that have access needs in this community that I worry are going to be stuck with, like you said, it's going to go down to a candy bar instead of true like carrots and staples. Because the images that you have here, which are wonderful images, they do not show a focus on the historic. Pardon me. This is not I don't believe this is a historically zoned structure, because I've noticed it's significantly modified. But it's a culturally significant structure to the city of Manor. It's like us taking out the water tower or replacing the water tower that has lights on it, and we put lights on it for holidays, and swapping it out with the one by my house that looks like a little golf ball. Because we needed to. And it's like, okay, well, it's still a water tower. And I'm like, yeah, but what happened to the old tin one? That's where I feel like this is very much unaligned with anything that I envision as far as downtown Manor. And I say that with the most respect for the vision for the property owner. I just went to the city of Taylor a couple weekends ago with other business owners from the LGBT Chamber of Austin, and I got to see how their main street has been reinvigorated, and they've kept their original buildings and brought life into them by just trying to bring people back into the community. That's what I believe that's what Manor's city government and council, and I believe the Planning and Zoning Commission really envision here. I don't see Six Pumps solving that problem on these, what's actually 2 lots that we're talking about here, lots 19 and 20. So I'm
Mr. Garcia, I'm gonna tell you, in the last, I want to say 15 years, that road has already widened. I would hate to tell you that road's going to widen even more with the more traffic that we have coming into Manor. Pretty soon that TxDOT is going to be at your first gas pump. I mean, poor the tire service that's been here forever. Pretty soon they're not going to be able to back out of their stalls because they're going to be on Old Highway 20. Yeah. I think I think what we're all trying to tell you is we understand it's a business, and you're in a business, and you have a gentleman that you're working for that's in a business. But I think one of the reasons I sit on the planning and zoning is to fight for my community, and one of the things I think this community needs is like Commissioner O'Ryan said, that was a place where people went and got their groceries because they were not driving all the way to Austin to go to H-E-B or the closest grocery center. So I think that's all I got, because we could go on and on from this store.
Vice Chair Pais. Vice Chair Chavis.
Any more questions?
I think, I'm sorry that you're in this situation, but it doesn't mean that we have to approve it just because your person wouldn't be able to make money, right? And so with that, I would just say that I would recommend to deny item number 9.
I have a question. I'm sorry for you. What do you guys with the canopy or the pumps that are there right now? Is there any suggestions or?
The one suggestion that we saw, and commissioners, please correct me if I'm wrong. When we did a thing, they were talking about still keeping it as a grocery store, but also opening up like a sandwich shop and using the canopy as a outside patio area to where people could come out and eat and use it like that.
Like a shade structure.
Correct. So you keep that original old gas station awning there, and you do that. That way, like, the chairman said, you have these town citizens that want to just be able to walk somewhere and enjoy something, for them to be able to sit there and see it. Granted, the scenery of 18 wheelers driving down Old 20 and cars. I don't know what's exciting about that, but at least it gives the community something to go to, and it brings people to our downtown and makes them want to look at something and shop somewhere. Because I know we're big on this shop small, shop local. Maynard Groceries has been a local establishment for a long time.
Yeah, in the comprehensive plan, this section actually has a picture of like an open cafe where people can eat. So this actual intersection is not a gas station. And so I think we all support the grocery and like convenience part, but I would say we don't support the gas stations. So that's why I make a motion to deny agenda item number 9.
And there are multiple examples. I'll get to Vice Chair Chavis here too. There are multiple examples of adaptive reuse of fueling stations just in Austin alone. You can go up Burnett Road. Well, it's not there anymore, but the original Omelet Tree, which was the origins of Omelet Tree and of the breakfast restaurants, the 3 breakfast chains, was in a former gas station built in 1970. It was converted in 1979 and made into a breakfast restaurant there for 40 years. And it was there until it moved to a commercial facility. There are multiple, you can see, because they still have the same service station awnings from the 1940s. And to that end, I believe if this is a motion to deny, if we recommend a motion to deny and the council upholds that, then this remains downtown business zoning, and anything in the DB category remains possible on this lot.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. With this owner, or if this owner chooses to share it with another owner's vision.
Yeah, whatever is currently permitted in downtown business, assuming the council agrees with the recommendation tonight,
Yes.
it will be.
It would remain.
continued.
It retains its current zoning. Vice Chair.
I second the motion.
Oh, and the motion has been a motion by Commissioner Leonard to deny a recommendation to deny the rezoning, seconded by Commissioner Pies. Any comment by Vice Chair Chavis? Or
No comment.
alrighty. Any other discussion on the motion? I will do a hand call vote. All of those in favor of the motion to deny, please raise your hand. All those opposed? The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Wish you luck.
If I may, just to remind you, Christian, before you leave, this
Mr.
item
Burrell.
does still go to City Council. So
Yes.
even though the Planning and Zoning Commission is recommending denial, it will go to Council next week, and they can vote. And correct me if I'm wrong, they need a supermajority.
Nope. The item is ended.
My apologies.
Robert's Rules of Order and Texas Municipal Code will be able to guide you forward. Thank you. The next item,
If I may, before we continue, when something like that, like
you
when
will
can I?
have to provide legal advice to staff, to applicants.
Okay. Just so I know, so I don't make that mistake again. Thank you.
And as my boss often tells me, less words are always good. I'm learning that. Thank you, though, again. Moving on to item, oh my goodness, we've got a while, guys. Here we go. All right, moving on to item 9. This is consideration, discussion, and possible action on a rezoning application for 3 lots on, nope, I'm so sorry. I'm 10. Here we are. Thank you for helping me catch up. And just for a time check, we're at 7:56. We should be, we're doing just fine this evening. Consideration, discussion, and possible action on a subdivision preliminary plat amendment for Manor Heights Phase 6 being 12 lots on 47.696 acres, more or less, and being located at the northeast corner of the intersection of US 290 and Old Kimbrough Road in Manor, Texas. The applicant is Kimley Horn and Associates. The owner is RHOF LLC. Before or earlier on during the public hearing, staff had made a mention that this is a subdivision to 12 lots, 11 commercial, 1 open space. Staff, any other further comments on this item and your recommendation?
It's non-discretionary, so that
Wonderful.
should make this a lot easier.
This is a non-discretionary item. Thank you.
I make a motion to approve agenda item number 10.
Motion
second.
by Commissioner Pye, seconded by Commissioner Leonard. All those in favor of this
I have
item? Pardon me.
question.
Any
right.
discussion? Hold on. Sorry. Commissioner Meyer. I'm just rolling through it. Commissioner Meyer.
Okay, it talks about 12 lots, but what I'm seeing here is one lot.
On the map, on the revised plat. Can you provide a general description of where those subdivisions would be? Yeah, I
So-
only have the tree. All that's in here is essentially the tree map, the tree survey.
So it looks like when I transferred this item over, it only brought one page of 4. The 12 lots, there are roughly 6 on the right-hand side. They're rectangular and a bit, not a typical rectangle, but more puzzle pieced in. Then the bottom left-hand corner where you see the parkland separation where all those trees are, that's where the floodplain is. And the lots above that are also the commercial.
Above that, meaning on the northern side of the property, and
Yeah.
on the
Northern over to the east is all commercial. And then the
So the residential lots were in the upper left?
it'll attach to the residential easement, the public utility easement there at Millage Pass. Is that correct?
Yes. May I ask what you mean by residential lots?
It was my understanding that some of the residential lots were folded into the commercial lot.
This was all intended to be commercial before. It just didn't have as many commercial lots. They're re-subdividing it.
But yes, you're right. This is the commercial space is immediately abutting.
It's directly next to
existing-
residential.
Existing residential properties that were built there in the last 2 years, along Phoebe Foster, Lone Peak Pass, Lone Peak Cove.
Okay, I was misunderstanding. I thought that some of the existing, or what were residential lots, had been folded in.
No, sir. This was a completely commercial area.
Those are phase 2 of Manor Heights. Do you have that plat available, or are we able to see this? I'm sorry, and thank you.
No, you're quite all right.
Chair,
Council.
what the recommendation is that you table this item.
Until and bring it back up.
Yes.
All right. I will entertain a motion to table item 10 so we can revisit this when we have more information from staff.
I make a motion.
Go ahead.
All right.
I make a motion to table.
Motion by Commissioner Pies and seconded by Commissioner Meyer. All those in favor of tabling, all right, raise your hand. All right, that is unanimous. All right, item 11. Thank you so much. We'll get to that in a moment. Consideration, discussion, and possible action on a subdivision preliminary plat for Shadow Glen Phase 3, Sections 3 through 8, being 690 lots on 247.029 acres, more or less, and being located at 14111 Fuchs Grove Road in Manor, Texas. The applicant is KT Civil. The owner is Meritage Homes of Texas, LLC. Their staff. Summary of your recommendation, please.
This
is
is
a
a
non-discretionary item, by the way.
yes. This is the subdivision preliminary plat that was reviewed and deemed in compliance with our code of ordinance by the city engineers. It is a non-discretionary item.
I just have a question.
Commissioner Meyer.
Is there or was there any accommodation for parkland?
Yes.
Yes.
It is outlined as there's 9 open space lots. Now, those aren't necessarily parkland improvements.
Yeah, it's just open land.
It's just open space. Staff, are you able to be a little more descriptive of like what that offering is?
Hi, I'm Peggy Karaskia with KT Civil.
Hi, thank you so much.
There's a development agreement for.
Yes, as I say, after you speak, can you please fill out a yellow card and provide it to staff? But yes, we'll entertain your comments here.
I was.
Oh,
gonna
and press
answer
the button.
Question.
Yes, no, please answer your question. It's helpful.
Your question. About
The question,
opening-
I speak, I'm the chair, so I speak on behalf of the dais. The chair, the question was about the open space on there. And I believe we just need to make sure your light is green, and then we have to have a record of you. I'm asking that you fill out a yellow card after you provide your
On my way
comments, so we have a record of you being here on our record this
Perfect.
evening. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
You're good.
So engineer of record for this development, there's a development agreement between the developer and the city that was signed a lot of years before I ever became involved with the project, and they have had several amendments, but there are requirements for parkland dedication with this development, and those will be made, and there are also trail improvements. Wilbarger Creek, the city park, is between phase 2 and this is phase 3, and there are going to be trails that are built down there as part of that development agreement requirement. So yes, there are parks, but not with the preliminary plan. Those are dedicated as part of the final plat.
Thank you so much. Mr. Burrell, I know there's with Wilbarger Creek being nearby, this plat is accepted or received and compared to the Atlas 14 maps for floodplain.
That would be my assumption, though. It'd probably be beneficial to have Pauline here for questions like that.
Okay. I'm always playing whack-a-mole.
I apologize.
Okay. You're good.
These are good questions to ask. It keeps me on my toes.
Well, because we have a drainage fee now, and if we preliminarily approve put people into a floodplain, I just want to make sure that we're in compliance. So as long as these are in compliance with the current, most recent floodplain maps, I can feel comfortable with that. Is the engineer of record for the applicant? Can you speak to how these were drawn, or? Yes. Because I believe there's an encroachment issue or a floodplain issue happening in phase 2, I believe, of this development. Yes.
We modeled the floodplain. There is a half study that is going through approvals right now with FEMA. We modeled the floodplain ourselves and submitted that both to Travis County for review as well as to Mainer's engineer.
City Maynard, yeah.
And that's been reviewed. And there are some proposed grading, but everything will be out of the floodplain once the development is complete.
Thank you. And then I see you have the detention and water quality easements there as well.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Any other questions from the commission? This also includes another amenity center there, kind of at the center of phase 3. Oh, previously. Perfect. Thank you.
I think we have to finish the current item before we start looking.
I make a motion.
Yeah.
I make a motion that we approve agenda item number 11.
All right, I have a motion from Commissioner Pies to approve item 11. A second?
Second.
A second from Commissioner Terry. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All right. All those opposed? That motion passes unanimously. Thank you so much for the help. And thank you for providing that record. Commissioners, if you would like, we can revisit item 10. I have here on the iPad that I'll pass down a layout of the lots, the commercial lots here on the subdivision request for item 10. They are they're all different widths to a degree, but essentially creating a couple different 1.5 to 2 acre blocks along 290 into 12 lots. And then a kind of a flag lot there to access the northwestern portion and to provide a somewhat of an easement there between, or a break at least as far as the driveway is concerned, between the residential homes that are currently backing to this. Thank you again. And for the record, we are back on item 10. This is consideration, discussion, and possible action on a subdivision preliminary plat amendment for Manor Heights Phase 6 being 12 lots on 47.696 acres, more or less, and being located at the northeast corner of U.S. Highway 290 and Old Kimbrough Road in Manor, Texas. Again, the applicant is Kimley Horn and Associates. The owner is RHOF LLC. And for those who are watching or viewing at home, you can contact the City of Manor for access to this document. It'll be it'll be added this with the minutes for this meeting as additional backup materials later. And Commissioners, this is a non-discretionary item. It is a staff's recommendation to approve this item as provided. I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve agenda item number 10.
Motion by Commissioner Pies to approve item 10.
I second.
A second by Commissioner Orion. Any discussion on the motion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All those opposed? Item 10 passes unanimously.
Sorry, Chair.
Yes.
Mandy, do we have any water?
Yes. Yeah. Mandy's getting some water. All right, we're almost there, y'all.
Sorry.
All right, we're almost getting to the setback waivers. We're going to talk about a coordinated sign plan, y'all. This is consideration, discussion, and possible action on a coordinated sign plan for the Minimax gas station, which is located at 13320 East US 290, US Highway 290 in Manor, Texas. I know the applicant and the owner are Inayad Maridia. Maridia or Maridia? Maridia? Oh, Meridia. Okay. I'm getting there. I will get there. This is on the intersection of Bodark Road for those for reference and is currently under construction. There is a summary form here on the document. And staff, welcome back. You're the water provider here for us as well.
I do have a question for the applicant.
Okay.
A very serious question. Are you saying there's going to be an IHOP?
Yes, we have an LOI in place. One of the hiccups with the LOI right now for the IHOP is that they want signage because, like everyone else who's in small business, they need those eyes on the road. There's 45 to 50,000 traffic on 290. So the signage is what brings people in because, people are driving by. They need to see, oh, that's where I need to stop. There's an IHOP. I'm hungry right now for breakfast. That's the north side traffic. So all those people that are coming in, want those sales tax revenues, we got to stop them. The only way they can be coming into the space is if they have people come in and see it.
I go home and tell my high school kids that there's an IHOP coming. You don't need no sign. They'll all be there.
We got a Waffle House and an IHOP. I don't think I'm allowed to say, but we're going to have two of the same fast food restaurants soon. No, I'm not saying.
I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but let's not get people excited just yet.
It's not on the agenda. Commissioner Burrell, do you want to provide us a summary of this coordinated sign plan and how it conforms to city ordinance?
Yeah, so this coordinated sign plan is possible because in order to have a coordinated sign plan, you have to operate out of multiple buildings on the same lot or have 4 tenants in one building. They kind of meet both. They have 2 buildings. They have their main building and the car wash, and they have their multiple entities that are going to be inside the travel center. The city and the Minimax gas station have worked together pretty extensively to make sure that they're in general compliance with what a coordinated sign plan allows, particularly their pole signage. Normally, even with a coordinated sign plan, you can only get 1 pole, but that changes when you have more than one frontage on 290, basically more than one entrance. And because they have those 2 entrances on their site, they can have 2 pole signs that they're maintaining the proper height. I believe it's only 35 feet.
Yes.
Less than 35 feet. And then they've also already gone to city council for a development agreement, which essentially states that their digital signage will stay in compliance with the city's outdoor lighting code. So it won't be essentially flashbanging anyone who's driving down the street. They have to stay in compliance, minimize light trespass on the property boundary, and adhere to other slight caveats of their code.
Yeah, the pole sign. So the pole sign is it since the pole sign was already approved by council.
The development agreement for the pole sign, yes, not what the pole sign looks like, but essentially the
Okay.
development agreement allows them to have one as
Okay.
long as it stays in compliance with our outdoor lighting code. This coordinated sign plan dictates what it's going to look like.
Okay. And they're in compliance with the outdoor lighting code.
As far as the diagram that I was presented, yes.
Okay. Hello. This is very close to home for me. I may be eating there a lot. I wanted to see as far as the I had a question as far as the sizing of the ones on the building. The main sign's about 78 square feet. The fiery grill sign that you provided as a potential option of a concept is about 82 square feet. Is there a reason that would be a larger, or why that needs to be a larger sign? This is the fiery grill. So the main sign's the Minimax. That would be on your awning, correct? Toward the US 290 and Boat Arc roads.
Yes, if you put it up, I can kind of explain
There it
how
is.
it is.
So what we have is most of it's a convenience store travel center, but most of it's actually for city purposes and community gathering.
Okay.
So there's actually a lot of food concepts inside of this. So we have a fiery taco grill. It's kind of like a Chipotle concept, but you know everyone doesn't want to eat the cookie cutter Chipotle. So we want to try to introduce some unique concepts that we operate too. So we're like, my family did so big different.
Mm-hmm.
So we just try different things to innovate. One of the things we've been recently trying is the fiery tacos, the grill concept. It's kind of like similar to Chipotle. That's more like a healthy option for the day that you worked out and you want to eat something healthy. Then we have those days when I'm really hungry and I want a juicy burger. So we have a flaming burger concept that's smashed patty burgers. That's also we operate internally. And then we have we're working on a new coffee and bakery concept for the morning rush hour when the person wants to have fresh bakery and coffee. And that's why we have all this sitting inside. It's not just one here, but there's 70 plus sitting just on like the C-store side. And then I have its own sitting as well. On the IHOP side, I have this plant to go right here.
Okay.
Inside the building. So, and then also we also trying to do with the sitting, we also like serve activities. We have like eating place where people can gather. Just you don't have to go so far out into town. There's not much out there in 90 right now. You want to go somewhere, you gotta go all the way to Parmer and the traffic from Parmer. So our whole concept is to be successful, but we want to try to meet the demand of the community to be successful. Because we realize we've been in business for a very long time. It started with one store my dad ran. It's family generational business.
Mm-hmm.
You understand that people want something new. They don't want the same cookie cutter thing. You got 100 McDonald's, but how many places have a potato bun type of smashed patty burger? So anyone cannot eat the same thing again. So our whole family concept, our whole business model is based on, hey, let's provide everything we can to the consumer, to the guest that comes in, treat them really well, and then offer them all these options. But in order to offer all those options, then our signage becomes pretty crazy because you have all these different concepts, but you need to let people know, hey, we're offering, good healthy options, we're offering, burger options as well. That's smash patties, we're offering IHOP, we're offering coffee, bakery.
Mm-hmm.
So the sign, our traditional, it's not cookie cutter type of business that we're trying to do, type of brand that we're trying to create, or type of options that we're trying to offer people. So the signage in the current zoning doesn't work for us. So that's why we needed to do the coordinated sign plans. We could put the 2 pole signs, we have enough signage so we can kind of let people know, hey, come here for your fresh bakery in the morning when it's rush hour time, and your unique type of coffee. Like our coffee is not like the cookie cutter coffee you get at gas station. It's actually Italian type of roast. And used actually, even though we don't make much money on it, we actually, because we sell it cheaper, we actually have fresh brewed coffee. Every machine is fresh brewed. So when you actually click the button, that's when it's grinding. Each of the machines costs $15,000. We have like 5 or 6 of those. So we're investing like $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 just to make sure our guest comes back again, not because we make money on it, but so they find the fresh cup of coffee, so they grab something else where we can, cover those losses. So it's just, our business model is the reason we're trying to get this sign.
As far as the thank you for that. And this is the pole sign. Your facility also has pumps, but I don't see anything I don't see any depiction for the awning. Is there, or any kind of signage that's going to go on the awning. It's just for the affixed to the building. Is that necessary to provide for the scope of work? It said to be on page the mini max sign this is item 11. The mini max sign on page 2, right back there. One more forward now. There. Is that going to be just on the building itself, or is that going to be on the awning?
No, it's only on the building.
Okay. And your pumps are in front of the building, or your pumps behind? Okay. Your pumps are going to be in front of the building. Okay.
It's like sorry to get from the side plan in this, but
You're fine.
it's a triangle lot like this.
Yes.
So the pumps are in front right here, and pumps. Then we have this amazing car wash. It's actually open see-through type of roof. We wanted an open area instead of that enclosed dark car wash.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a unique belt.
Okay.
This time for sure. It's detail oriented. So like we actually have a belt. So instead of your conveyor taking your car and maybe touching the rim and messing up your shiny rim, it's actually a belt flat like this. So
Okay.
it actually goes on the whole belt.
It's like a treadmill for a car.
It's basically a treadmill
Okay.
for a car. So your car can never touch the rim. So that way, and the two car washes we made are both on the south side.
Yeah.
Car wash. They build their car washes cheap because they cookie cutter company 100 locations. So we spend that belt costs $13,000, $230,000, and the other thing costs only like $56,000.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay.
nice up corner because it saves money, makes some more money, but we're here for many years.
Yeah.
And we want to make people happy to come. So,
Mhm.
and to make the car safe. So that's why we went with that type of more expensive belt. Let people come in
Okay.
and experience, something unique again. That's the whole idea of having it. So
Thank you so much.
sorry
Yeah.
about that. I'm not going to
No, it's great. It's great. I would just say, I think, the coordinated sign plan to me makes sense.
Yeah.
And I would definitely make a motion to approve agenda item number 12.
I second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Leonard and a second by Commissioner Orion to approve the coordinated sign plan as submitted for item 12. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. All those opposed? This motion passes unanimously. Thank you and good luck.
just off the record, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I know I had to spend time away from my 4-year son, but
You're good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
helping
you
me
all.
succeed.
Alrighty. Our next 4 items are the final items on tonight's agenda. They are all similar in nature. They are setback waiver requests for different lots across downtown. Item 13 is consideration, discussion, and possible action on a setback waiver request for 202 East Wheeler Street in Maynard, Texas. The applicant is Daniel Zapata, and the owner is also Daniel Zapata. I hope it, yeah. Staff, do you want to address this? Oh, by the way, these items are discretionary. All 4 of these next following items are discretionary. Lots platted prior to 1980 and at least 5,750 square feet may request approval of reduced setbacks. Staff, item 13 has, I believe, a side street or street side yard.
Pardon. Yes. So they're essentially requesting the maximum setback allotment that they're allowed to.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only real context I could
All
provide.
right. The minimum setback.
Yes, the minimum.
Yeah. The
that they're
minimum,
allowed to have.
yes.
The maximum they're allowed to request.
Maximum square footage of lot utilization. Alrighty. The setback for this includes 20 feet from the front, 10 feet from the rear, 5 feet from the side, and then 15 feet from the street side yard of this lot. This is a corner lot on Wheeler Street. Any discussion among council members?
Good question. What is the reasoning for this? I mean, I know you want more feet, but they just building something bigger on there or something?
The backup does not have any information on it except for the setback waiver request form provided. Staff?
I have no context. Typically, citizens or community members will come fill the waiver out and submit it to us. Most of the time, in my experience, from what I've seen, there's no real question of whether or not they can reduce the setbacks on their lot. But for the future, we can potentially ask for context per legal counsel telling me that's allowed? Am I allowed to ask why people want to? Okay. I can start gathering that information to appease the commission's inquiries.
This is a discretionary item. You can approve with conditions, or deny this item. I don't believe Mr. Zapata is here tonight. Seeing no motion in the gallery.
I make a motion to approve agenda item number 13.
I have a motion from Commissioner Pies to approve item 13 as posted.
I second.
Seconded by Commissioner Leonard. Any discussion on the motion? Those in favor, please raise your hand. Those opposed? That motion passes unanimously. Item 14, consideration, discussion, and possible action on a setback waiver request for 204 East Wheeler Street in Manor, Texas. This is the lot adjacent to the one we just discussed. The applicant and owner are the same as the previous case, Daniel Zapata.
I move to approve agenda item number 14 as well.
Motion by Commissioner Leonard to approve item 14.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Commissioner Pies. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your hand. All those opposed? That motion passes unanimously. Item 15 on the agenda is a consideration, discussion, and possible action on a setback waiver for 406 East Carey Manor Street in Manor, Texas. The applicant is Odiel Ocampo, also the owner. There is this is recommended for approval. The motions on this is 20 feet from the rear, 10 feet from the back, 20 feet from the front, 10 feet from the rear, and 5 feet from each side. I'll entertain a motion.
Make the motion to we approve the item.
I have a motion by Commissioner Meyer to approve item 15. 15. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second by Commissioner Pies. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I'll call a vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All those opposed? That motion passes. Item 16 is consideration, discussion, and possible action on a setback waiver for 104 West Burton Street in Manor, Texas. The applicant is Jessica Valle and Juan Valle. The applicant is also the same. Setback requirements or setback request is the same as before, as the previous cases. 20 feet from the rear, 20 feet from the front, 10 feet from the rear, and 5 from each side. I'll entertain a motion.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Mr. Burrell, is there something already there, or is it the empty lots that are next to it?
It's the empty lot.
Okay, so this lot is currently vacant.
Because it's on the the corner of Burton and San Marcos. That's those empty lots right there. Is that correct?
So, yeah.
If you're looking at your map, Google Maps goes by the addresses that's submitted to them, but the legal address is oftentimes different. So unless you're looking at the Travis County Appraisal District or the City of Austin jurisdictional web map, the address may not be 100% accurate.
Yeah, because we used to live on 303 West Eagleston, and when we get stuff delivered, it would get it delivered on that side instead of the left side. So yeah, I'm used to that. That's why I was asking, because yeah, it took me somewhere else, and I realized that wasn't it.
It also has the Lot 3, Block 6, Town of Manor for the actual legal description as opposed to the potentially inaccurate address.
That's true.
I make a motion to approve agenda item number 16.
Already.
I second.
Motion by Commissioner Pies and seconded by Commissioner Leonard to approve item 16. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your hand. All those opposed? That motion passes unanimously. That concludes the business of the Planning and Zoning Commission for the City of Manor this evening. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I second.
I I have a motion by Commissioner Pye, seconded by Commissioner Orion to adjourn. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All those opposed? That motion passes unanimously. We are adjourned at 8:26 p.m. Thank you so much.